Imagine if you could transform your life simply by helping others. Robert Greene, a kind man, discovered this in the most thrilling way. After a special connection with a woman named Laura, his intention to help her led to disappointment. But instead of letting himself be disheartened, he found a powerful way to rise again. This story is not just about losses, it is a testament to how facing challenges can open doors to extraordinary opportunities. Join us to discover how Albert became a true hero in his community. Robert Greene, a kind-hearted man, visits a local cafe every afternoon. One day, he notices a charming woman approaching his table. Laura, with a sweet smile, asks to share the space, and Albert, shyly, agrees. As they talk, she enthusiastically discusses her dreams and challenges. Albert finds himself captivated by her warmth and drawn to her vulnerability. Laura mentions how hard she works, yet still faces difficulties. The sparkle in her eyes makes Albert feel a connection. Deep down, he believes she might be the answer to his loneliness. The conversation flows naturally, and he wonders if there could be something more between them. However, these moments of happiness are about to change. As their talk progresses, Laura reveals her urgent need, a motorcycle to secure a better job. She shares stories of feeling trapped and desperate, hoping for a chance to get back on her feet. Albert listens intently, completely enchanted. "If only I had a motorcycle, I could make deliveries and help cover the bills," she says with a sad look. Albert's heart tightens, and he feels an impulse to help. Without a second thought, he makes a decision. He offers to finance the motorcycle and even helps with the rent, believing he is doing the right thing. The smile on Laura's face becomes a currency he thinks is worth the sacrifice. Albert feels like a hero, nurturing the hope that this could change her life and perhaps his as well. Weeks pass, and Laura no longer appears at the cafe. Albert tries to reach out, but his messages and calls go unanswered. Concern turns to desperation as he begins to hear rumors from friends about Laura's past. In a surprising conversation, a friend reveals that Laura is married and deceived him. Doubt scratches at Albert's mind, but he tries to ignore it until the reality becomes undeniable. Heartbroken, he tries to find out where Laura is, but everything around him seems to fade away. He feels isolated and betrayed, the hope that once guided him now transforming into bitterness. What started as a pleasant connection has now left a hole in his heart and in his bank account. Each unanswered message echoes his naivety, and the pain accumulates like a dark storm. Albert and his elderly mother suffer a harsh blow. With the money he gave Laura, their finances are strained, and they live through severe days of budgeting. Bills pile up while food in the fridge runs low. Worry and guilt enter their daily routine, and tension hangs over the home. Albert's friends, who once seemed supportive, now whisper comments about his disillusionment. He lost everything because of a woman. He's so naive, they say, mocking him. The weight of critical glances and cutting words burdens his shoulders. Surrounded by his pain and disappointment, Albert finds himself in a cycle of shame. Each loud laughter from friends makes him feel like a stranger in his own life, further isolating him. Sadness turns into a constant shadow over Albert. He locks himself in his room, spending days without the will to leave. The walls around him seem to hide joy and hope. Guilt becomes his companion as he questions how he was so naive. He remembers the happy moments with Laura and wonders if it was all just an illusion. The reality of loneliness and financial pressure begins to affect his health, and he starts to feel symptoms of depression. Every thought of Laura is like a deep thorn, reminding him of his failures. Eventually, sadness breaks through the surface, and Albert realizes he needs help. One day, as he sifts through his memories, he comes across a photo of his mother, who fakes a hopeful smile. This reminds him that he can't let sadness take over. After many days of tears and despair, Albert finally makes a difficult decision. He gets up from his disheveled bed and decides he needs to change his reality. He starts looking for temporary jobs, dedicating himself to small tasks around the neighborhood. With a new focus, he remembers that, despite everything, he still needs to care for his mother. Each job he takes is a way to redeem himself, even if slowly. His determination strengthens each day, and hope begins to blossom in his heart. Albert starts receiving compliments from neighbors for his hard work, which motivates him even more. Over time, he discovers new talents, like cooking and doing small repairs. The feeling of usefulness starts to fill the void that was once present. He realizes that although he has lost a lot, there are still many opportunities ahead. During one of his new jobs, Albert meets Clara, a woman who has fallen on hard times due to similar struggles. She is also fighting to rebuild her life, and her story resonates with Albert. In casual conversations, they support each other. Clara is not only understanding but also full of positive energy, always making Albert laugh. Together, they share stories of disillusionment and resilience, and Albert begins to see light where there was once darkness. The two form an unexpected friendship, gaining a new understanding of empathy and support. Every moment together feels like a breath of fresh air in their exhausted lives. With Clara by his side, Albert learns to not only forgive himself but also to see the good in the people around him. Their friendship brings a rebirth of hope, and Albert finally feels like he is rising again. Now, Albert realizes that life has given him a new chance. He works hard alongside Clara, and together they become a strong duo. Through mutual support, they find new paths and restructure their lives. Over time, Albert rediscovers joy, which reflects in his relationship with his mother, who begins to smile again. He learns to balance his time between work and fun moments with Clara. Those days of pain start to dissipate, giving way to newfound confidence. Albert dedicates himself to helping others in the community, becoming an example of resilience. When his friends see him trying again, they begin to change their perception of him. Finally, the strength found in Clara and in his recovery brings a new shine to his life. On a warm spring day, Albert and Clara have a picnic in the park, surrounded by laughter and cheerful conversations. Albert, now more confident, talks about his dreams and plans. They share food while watching children play and flowers bloom around them, a symbol of a new beginning. He looks at Clara and smiles, grateful to have found her in such a challenging time. Hope floods his heart, and the beauty of friendship deepens what they have experienced together. He feels refreshed, ready to face new challenges. "We still have a long way to go," Clara says with a sparkle in her eyes. "Yes," replies Albert, "but now I know I can be strong." The sun shines brighter than ever, promising a better future full of opportunities.
Albert works diligently at the subway station, watching people pass by. Despite the hustle and bustle of the vibrant city, he feels trapped, as if he is in a cage. New faces come and go, each with their own story, and Albert dreams of being more than just an employee. The image of a delicious burger joint echoes in his mind. He recalls the recipes he loved to create in the kitchen. With a sigh, he reflects on his true desire, to open his own business and become a great chef. While he cleans walls and stairs, his mind drifts between the present and the future he could have. Loving what he does feels so distant, but a spark of hope still shines within him. Clara walks into Albert's home, bringing a bit of light and joy. She sits with him at the kitchen table, and they begin preparing dinner together. Clara, a lively woman, shares stories about her adventures working at a designer store while Albert takes pleasure in creating a new burger recipe. The atmosphere is light, and they laugh together, deepening their connection. Albert watches as Clara cares for his mother, who is in a wheelchair, losing himself in his thoughts. He admires her patience and gradually feels his emotions transforming into something deeper. The acknowledgement that they can rely on each other makes Albert realize that their friendship is a true safe haven. Albert invites Clara for a walk in the park, filled with colorful flowers and sunshine. He feels a mix of nervousness and excitement as they walk side by side, the laughter of children playing in the background echoing in his ears. Finally, he stops and turns to her, his heart racing. "Clara, I can't hide it any longer. I feel something very special for you." Clara smiles, her eyes sparkling, and replies, "I feel it too, Albert." This response lights up Albert's world. He takes her hands and asks a question that will change everything. "Will you be my girlfriend?" Clara, without hesitation, agrees, and they embrace under the sunlight. Moments later, they both feel as if there is nothing left to fear, just the happiness of being together. The altar of the basilica is adorned with flowers and light, creating an aura of magic. Albert feels nervous, but when he sees Clara in her wedding dress, he knows it's all worth it. His mother watches from her wheelchair, a serene smile on her face, though her mind struggles to understand. Albert makes a promise of eternal love as friends and family surround them with joy. "May life bring us the best, and may we take care of each other," he says, tears welling in his eyes. However, he realizes that his mother, even being there, doesn't fully grasp what is happening, but Albert immerses himself in the moment, savoring every second. Clara also speaks sweet words, and the ceremony becomes a testament to the love that blossomed amid reminders of difficult pasts. The atmosphere in Albert's home turns heavy when his mother passes away. He feels an unbearable void, his heart tightening in his chest. Clara, always by his side, serves as his anchor, enveloping him in a comforting embrace. As they cry together, she gently says, "It's painful, but we must remember the good times she gave us." Albert knows she is right, but the pain is intense. The following days test his resilience, and he feels the weight of the world on his shoulders. Clara, with a sad smile, tries to uplift him, reminding him that they still have one another. Her support becomes his refuge in this dark time. Life deals another painful blow when Clara receives the news: lymphoma. Albert feels the ground crumble beneath him. He watches her with tears in his eyes while Clara tries to hold on to hope. "We will fight this together, Clara, I will never leave you," he asserts with determination. Daily, Albert clings to the belief that he will find a way to save his beloved. He spends his savings, takes on odd jobs, even as a cleaner, to buy medicine. The struggle they face strengthens their bond, a love that blooms under pressure. Clara, even while sick, encourages Albert not to lose faith in his dreams, while Albert refuses to give up on her. On Clara's last day, she holds Albert's hand, each touch bringing memories of love and joy. Despite her weakness, her voice is strong. "Albert, you took care of your mother, and now it's my turn to leave. But you still have a dream, and I want you to fight for it." Her words resonate deeply in his heart, but he struggles to understand. "Make your suffering fuel to achieve your dream, my love. Become the best burger chef in the world," she says, her eyes filled with love. Albert, overwhelmed with emotion, tries not to cry as Clara turns her last moments into a blessing. She closes her eyes, and her final breath takes a piece of Albert's soul with it. He feels a void but also a spark of determination. After Clara's departure, Albert's world turns grey. He cries for days, the pain in his heart becoming a silent scream. Amid his anguish, he contemplates whether life is still worth living. In moments of despair and loneliness, thoughts of ending his own life creep into his mind, but his Catholic upbringing stays his hand. Instead, he begins to pray daily, seeking solace in the words of faith that have accompanied him throughout his life. He heads to the local church for spiritual guidance. Sitting down with a priest, he expresses his pain and anguish, searching for answers and comfort. The priest, with a gentle voice, tells him, "Loss is a painful part of life, but it is in God that we find the strength to move forward." Those words touch Albert deeply, awakening within him a renewed focus.
Albert Greene left the church, feeling contemplative, and decided to head to the public library in downtown Montreal. Upon entering, he was surprised by the number of people gathered around a featured book on the central table, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. He observed several individuals flipping through its pages, some already with purchased copies, animatedly discussing its ideas. "Excuse me," Albert said to a library staff member, a man in his 50s who was organizing books nearby. Albert asked him, "What's so special about this book?" The staff member smiled faintly and replied, "This book is popular because it contains techniques of manipulation and persuasion that many find valuable. In fact, it has even been banned in some prisons in the United States." There's an interesting story about a prisoner who, after reading the book, managed to convince the guard to release him. He used the techniques he learned to get the guard to hand over the cell key and even reveal safe times for his escape. Intrigued, Albert decided to buy the book. In the following days, Albert dove into Greene's teachings. He took meticulous notes and listened to numerous podcasts discussing the book, highlighting the dangers of using these techniques for malicious purposes. However, an idea began to form in his mind. He could utilize these strategies to open his own burger joint. Albert reviewed his notes and decided to focus on the first 3 laws. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. He knew that by understanding these laws, he could prepare to present his idea to an investor in Manitoba. Arriving in Manitoba, Albert felt a revitalizing rush of adrenaline. He headed to the office of Henry Caldwell, the businessman who could potentially be his investor, and knocked on the door. "Come in," said Henry. "Hello, Mr. Caldwell," Albert said. "It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Robert Greene, and I'm excited to share my burger joint project with you." "I'm listening, Albert," Henry replied, his curiosity piqued. Albert then began his pitch. "I'm not here to compete with you, but to enhance your investment. Together, we can create a burger joint that not only meets expectations but exceeds them. My idea is collaborative and will leverage your expertise. You seem to have a clear vision. What's your unique selling point?" Henry asked, leaning forward in his chair. Albert responded, "The key is to learn from the competition, analyze their flaws, and turn them into marketing opportunities. We want our message to resonate, making people realize we are the smartest choice. Let's use the public's dissatisfaction with certain brands to our advantage." "All right, that sounds promising. But what about executing this plan?" Henry inquired, now more engaged. Albert replied, "We can create a launch that captures attention without revealing everything. A teaser that piques public curiosity, gradually unveiling the delights of our burger joint. Anticipation creates desire. Imagine influencers tasting our products before the launch, generating a wave of interest." "What you're saying makes a lot of sense," Henry admitted, now fully invested. "Do you have specific plans for the food?" Albert answered, "Yes. I want to craft recipes that reflect local culture, using ingredients from regional producers. Each dish will tell its own story, turning the act of eating into a memorable experience. We'll make each burger a masterpiece, something that draws people back not just for the food but for the emotional connection we create when serving them." Henry smiled, clearly captivated, and said, "Albert, your passion and vision are contagious. I'm convinced. Let's discuss how I can help bring this idea to life." Albert felt his heart race. He had used the strategies he learned to create not just a proposal, but a vision that resonated with the businessman. With a sincere smile, Henry extended his hand and said, "We're in this together, Albert. Let's build something great." Albert shook Henry's hand, knowing his dream of a burger joint was finally becoming a reality. He understood that this marked the beginning not just of a business, but of a new era in his life, filled with flavor and opportunities.
Marketing strategy using the 48 laws of power. 1. Never outshine the master. Strategy. When presenting to an investor or authority figure, it is crucial to highlight their importance and experience. Instead of trying to be the star of the presentation, Albert emphasizes that his success will enhance and reinforce Henry's reputation. This ensures the investor feels they are making a wise investment, benefiting from the association. Marketing application. Using testimonials or collaborations with respected influencers in the food industry can enhance credibility. Marketing should focus on how the burger joint can elevate the customer experience while highlighting Henry's leadership in the initiative. 2. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Strategy. While analyzing the competition, Albert plans to not only identify their weaknesses but also create campaigns that exploit them. This may include direct comparisons that show how the new burger joint offers a superior experience. Marketing application. Conduct market research to understand what customers want and what the competition is failing to provide. Create campaigns that highlight the competitors' shortcomings, creating a unique marketing opportunity. For example, ads showcasing the superiority of the new burger joint's products compared to others. 3. Conceal your intentions. Strategy. Albert proposes a controlled launch to create anticipation and curiosity. Instead of revealing all the immediate details about the burger joint, the plan involves teasers and pre-launch events that stimulate public interest. Marketing application: develop a pre-launch campaign that piques the public's curiosity. This can include social media countdowns, suggestive images, and exclusive event invitations where only limited and intriguing details are shared. This technique makes the audience feel part of the development, fostering a sense of belonging and anticipation. Summary of the strategy. By combining these laws, Albert creates a marketing approach that engages the investor, making them feel their contribution is vital. Analyzes the competition to utilize their weaknesses to his advantage. Generates anticipation and curiosity around the launch, keeping details under wraps until the right moment. This combination forms a robust marketing plan that not only promotes the new business but also ensures that the investor feels they are part of a unique and exciting opportunity. Sales lessons based on Robert Greene's 3 laws. 1. Never outshine the master. Lesson: when selling an idea or product, always recognize and value the client's or investor's experience and position. Position your product as an extension of what they already do and a way to enhance their success. Sales application: ask questions that allow the client to feel like an expert, then present your solution as a tool that will help them reach new heights. This creates a collaborative atmosphere and leads to a smoother acceptance of the proposal. 2. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Lesson: rather than being complacent and relying solely on personal relationships, analyze the competition and use their weaknesses as an opportunity to differentiate your offering. Identify how your product provides solutions that competitors fail to deliver. Sales application: understand your competitors well and use that knowledge to your advantage. When discussing your product, mention how it overcomes the limitations of available alternatives, highlighting benefits that others do not offer. 3. Conceal your intentions. Lesson: do not immediately reveal all the details about your product or proposal. Maintain an element of mystery and anticipation that encourages the client to want to know more. This can create significant interest and emotional appeal. Sales application: use a layered sales approach. Start by highlighting the key benefits and features of your product, but reserve more comprehensive information for future meetings or presentations. This can help build suspense and curiosity, resulting in greater client interest. Summary of the lessons. Value the client's vision and experience, using your offerings as a complement to what they already possess. Study the competition and understand how your solution stands out, addressing competitors' deficiencies. Create intrigue in your sales presentation, revealing information gradually to foster interest and desire.
After months of intense planning and research, Albert was excited about the progress of his burger joint project. One sunny day, while browsing the internet, he came across something fascinating: Gaziantep, a Turkish city famous for its vibrant gastronomy and rich history. The region's chefs were renowned for their skills in preparing meats with unique spices, using recipes dating back to the Byzantine and Ottoman civilizations. Albert was captivated. The idea of incorporating these traditional recipes into his menu seemed not only innovative but also a perfect opportunity to offer customers a unique experience that honored the rich culinary tradition he had always admired. He believed that the spices and authentic preparation methods could transform not only the flavor of the burgers but also the image of his business. Unable to contain his excitement, Albert decided he needed to share this discovery with Henry. He knew that his investor valued innovation and, above all, quality. He organized his notes, formulated how to present them, and prepared for the meeting with determination. Upon arriving at Henry's office, Albert felt a bit nervous yet full of energy. As he entered the room, he saw his investor reviewing some documents. With a determined smile and contagious enthusiasm, Albert began. "Henry, I have exciting news. After thorough research, I'm considering going to Gaziantep, Turkey." Henry raised an eyebrow, surprised, and said, "Gaziantep? What did you find there that might interest us?" "The cuisine, Henry," Albert exclaimed, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. "Gaziantep is famous for its chefs who prepare meats using spices that date back to the Byzantine and Ottoman civilizations. They have techniques and recipes that are culinary treasures. Imagine including this in our burgers. It could elevate our offering to a whole new level." Henry, now intrigued, leaned back in his chair and said, Go on. How does this fit into our vision? Albert explained how, by learning from Gaziantep's culinary masters, he could adapt traditional meat preparation methods and develop spice blends that would create unique flavors for the burgers. He already had ideas in mind, from using spices like sumac and Aleppo pepper to marinating techniques that would bring the sophistication of Turkish cuisine to the dishes they wanted to offer. The idea is to bring a taste of Turkish culture to our menu, creating an authentic experience that respects tradition while also innovating, Albert emphasized, envisioning the possible dishes. Henry smiled, clearly impressed by Albert's passion and research. You've really thought this through, haven't you? This could be our unique signature in the market, something no one else is doing. I'm on board. Let's go to Gaziantep and learn everything we can about this incredible cuisine. Albert couldn't hide his smile of relief and joy. The trip was now taking shape, and he could already imagine the flavors and aromas he would bring back, ready to transform his business and delight future customers. After hours of flying, Albert finally landed in Turkey, his anticipation growing with each step toward Gaziantep. The city greeted him with the warmth of the sun and the irresistible aromas of spices wafting through the air. He was determined to uncover culinary secrets that could transform his business. As he settled into a cozy hotel in the city center, Albert felt the vibrant energy of Gaziantep surrounding him. In his luggage, he carried a book that had accompanied him for some time, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. He had summarized the first 3 laws, preparing to apply these principles in the conversations he would have. With a map in hand and his heart racing, Albert made his first stop at a local market, where he could feel the essence of Turkish cuisine. Among colorful stalls overflowing with fruits, vegetables, and spices, he heard whispers about a renowned female chef living in a secluded house in the mountains surrounding the city. They said she was the guardian of the secrets of meat preparations from ancient Ottoman peoples. Intrigued, Albert approached a vendor who seemed knowledgeable about the chef and asked, "Do you know the chef who lives in the mountains?" Albert inquired, already dreaming of the mysteries she might reveal. "Ah, you mean Aysen," replied the vendor, a smile on his face. "She is a legend. They say her dishes have the power to transport you to another time. Many have tried to uncover her secrets, but few have succeeded." One of the laws from the 48 Laws of Power emphasized the importance of staying focused on victory, while another highlighted the strength of persuasion and careful control of emotions. Albert knew he would need both when meeting Aysen, the famous chef who lived in a secluded house in the mountains and held the secrets of recipes from ancient Ottoman peoples. He had also studied Turkish through YouTube videos, determined to communicate effectively with Aysen, thereby increasing his chances of convincing her to join him in Canada. Albert became even more determined. After receiving some directions, he took a taxi to the base of the mountain and began the climb along the trail leading to Aysen's house. The path was lined with lush shrubs and wildflowers, and the atmosphere hummed with a sense of mystery. After an exhausting hike, he spotted a small stone house surrounded by fruit trees. The structure looked as if it had been sculpted by history, with stones that seemed to tell ancient tales. When Albert knocked on the door, his heart raced with anxiety. After a few moments, the door creaked open softly. Aysen was an elderly woman with snow-white hair and a discerning gaze that reflected years of wisdom. Her warm smile made Albert feel immediately welcome. "Welcome, young man," Aysen said, her voice gentle as the wind. "What brings you to my humble home?" "Mrs. Aysen, I'm Albert, and I've come from afar to learn about your recipes and secrets in preparing meats. I want to bring authentic flavors to my burger joint, and I believe your wisdom can help," he replied, filled with hope. Aysen observed him carefully, assessing the sincerity in his eyes, and said, "Many have come seeking my secrets, but few have a true passion for cooking. Are you willing to learn not just the recipes, but the entire history and culture that they carry?" she asked, a glimmer in her eyes. Albert nodded vigorously. He was more than ready to absorb everything Aysen had to teach. "Then come," Aysen said with an enigmatic smile, "let's begin." The chef led Albert into the kitchen, a charming and rustic space filled with copper utensils hanging on the walls and vibrant aromas mingling in the air. Amidst bubbling pots and colorful glass jars of spices, Ison began sharing the secrets of marinades, spice combinations, and the techniques she had inherited from past generations. Over the following days, Albert learned the importance of each ingredient, the patience needed to marinate meats, and the culinary rituals that made each dish special. He was fascinated by the stories Ison told about the ancient Ottoman peoples and how food had always been a way to express love and unity. With each recipe, Albert felt he was not just acquiring culinary knowledge but connecting to a rich and vibrant history that he could revive in his burger joint. He knew that when he returned home, he would not just bring back ingredients and techniques but also a piece of the heart and soul of the Ottoman legacy. He mentioned his project, a burger joint that would incorporate the techniques and spices of Ottoman cuisine, a tribute to the culture of which she was a descendant. "Mrs. Ison, I would like you to consider coming with me to Canada. I have a burger joint project based on the meats and spices of ancient Ottoman peoples, and it would be an honor to have your talent on board," Albert said, his heart racing. However, Ison wasn't easily convinced. She was deeply rooted in her land and reluctant to leave her home in the mountains. Sensing her resistance, Albert decided to apply the principles he had studied. Using the first law, he focused on the value proposition, emphasizing how his burger joint could revive and celebrate the rich Ottoman heritage.
Think, Ison, about how your tradition can impact the world. We could create a connection between the past and the present, ensuring that Ottoman culture remains alive in the memories of many. Imagine having a place where you can teach your art to new generations while we celebrate the cuisine you love so much. He then turned to the second law, appealing to her emotions by expressing his admiration for her and her history. Albert recalled how food has always been a way to express love and unity, adding, "Your wisdom and experience are unparalleled. In Canada, you will have the opportunity to teach those eager to learn who will respect your tradition." The dialogue continued, with Ison voicing her concerns about leaving her home and her peaceful life. Albert, applying the third law, remained calm and in control of the conversation, listening attentively to Ison's worries while responding with enticing solutions. After a lengthy and careful discussion, Ison began to soften. Seeing Albert's passion and determination made her feel she could be part of something greater. After a day of conversation, she finally stated, "All right, Albert. I am willing to consider your proposal." Albert, nearly unable to believe it, quickly picked up his phone and called Henry, sharing the incredible news that he had convinced Ison to join him. "Henry, I did it. The chef has agreed to come to Canada," Albert exclaimed. On the other end of the line, Henry was thrilled and immediately offered to buy an apartment for Ison in Montreal, along with a generous salary that reflected her skills. "And what about religion? Can I practice Islam in Canada?" Ison asked cautiously. Albert smiled, reassuring her. "Yes, Ison. Canada is a liberal country that welcomes all religions. You will find a community that respects and values diversity." Excited, Albert and Ison packed their belongings and boarded a flight back to Montreal. As the plane took off, Albert looked out the window and watched the beauty of the mountains and Gaziantep's horizon recede. He felt a blend of gratitude and anticipation. The future was unfolding for both him and Ison, promising a new life filled with flavor and meaning.
Sales strategies. 1. First law, never outshine the master. Sales application. Albert leveraged the first law to ensure that Henry felt valued in his role as an investor. He not only presented his idea but also invited Henry to share his thoughts, demonstrating that his collaboration and expertise were essential. This strategy is crucial in sales, where building a trusting relationship can facilitate conversion. 2. Second law, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Sales application. When dealing with Ison, Albert was prepared for objections. He recognized that her hesitations were not a barrier but an opportunity to present a more convincing argument. In sales, the ability to address objections and redirect the conversation toward the strengths of the proposal is an essential skill. 3. Third law, conceal your intentions. Sales application. Albert did not reveal all of his intentions from the start. This allowed him to adjust his approach as the conversation progressed, responding to Ison's reactions and supporting his efforts to persuade her. In sales, maintaining a degree of ambiguity can enhance curiosity and create room for negotiation. Marketing strategies. 1. First law: never outshine the master. Marketing application. When communicating his project to Henry, Albert not only presented an idea but also emphasized how the innovation could position the burger joint as a differentiator in the market. This marketing strategy highlights the importance of engaging key stakeholders, making them part of the narrative that promotes a product or service. 2. Second law: never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Marketing application. Albert used Eisen's resistance to strengthen his narrative and underscore the originality of his proposal. In marketing, transforming challenges into opportunities and using critical feedback to refine the message is a powerful approach to highlighting a brand's authenticity and value. 3. Third law: conceal your intentions. Marketing application. From the beginning of his conversation with Henry, Albert established an intriguing perspective on the cuisine of Gaziantep, creating an image of authenticity and exclusivity. This marketing strategy connects to the idea of generating interest and suspense around a product, stimulating public curiosity and enhancing the desire to experience the offering. Final considerations. In the analysis above, the sales strategies emphasize direct interaction, persuasion, and relationship building, while the marketing strategies focus on value communication, brand management, and the narrative surrounding the product. By applying these lessons synergistically, Albert was able to strengthen his project both in terms of immediate acceptance, sales, and market positioning, marketing.
Albert was excited. After bringing Eisen, the Turkish chef, to live in his apartment, he knew they were on the verge of creating something amazing. Eisen was a true artist in the kitchen, crafting dishes inspired by the rich cuisine of the ancient Ottoman peoples. On weekends, they began organizing special workshops where Eisen would teach how to prepare the meats used in the burgers Albert wanted to sell. Just imagine how fun it was. Eisen donned her colorful Muslim attire and spoke in Turkish while Albert, ever attentive, translated everything into English. He enthusiastically explained the spices and ingredients used during Ottoman times, bringing life and flavor to the stories behind each dish. One time, during a class, one of the participants raised a hand and asked, "But aren't hamburgers unhealthy? They can make everyone gain weight." With a smile on his face, Albert replied, "Actually, we'll use healthy ingredients that reduce the fat in the meat. And instead of soda, we'll offer iced tea, which was highly favored by the Ottomans. This tea is not only refreshing but also helps prevent diseases like diabetes and Alzheimer's." Albert looked at the group and spoke from the heart, "I want to leave a legacy. My burger joint won't just be another fast food place, it will be a location where people find a healthy and nutritious snack inspired by the cuisine adored by ancient Ottoman peoples." Everyone in the room was excited, and the workshop turned out to be a great success. Participants left with recipes in mind and their mouths watering. With the enthusiasm from the class still fresh in his mind, Albert needed to find a location for his burger joint in Montreal. He came across an advertisement for a shop for sale in an isolated neighborhood and decided it was time to take action. Upon arriving at the shop, he encountered the owner, a man with a serious expression. Albert explained his dream of opening a burger joint at that location, but the owner didn't seem very interested. "I want this shop to serve as a residence, not a commercial space," he said. Albert recalled the lessons he'd learned about sales and marketing. He confidently replied, "But the burger joint will bring many people to your neighborhood. Just imagine the activity and the joy." The owner shook his head in disapproval. "I have a fish market down the street, and a burger joint would definitely steal customers from me," the man insisted, crossing his arms. Unfazed, Albert pointed to the side, "Actually, we can help each other. The burger joint will attract more people to your fish market, and both businesses can thrive together. Look, we're in the food industry, and this can only result in more customers for both of us." He continued to explain how unique his burger joint would be, unlike any other. With every word, Albert's enthusiasm shone through, demonstrating how everyone could benefit. He drew on the principles of Robert Greene's power dynamics to gently persuade the owner, emphasizing that his idea wasn't just a sale, it was an opportunity for growth for everyone involved. Gradually, the man's expression began to change. He started to consider that Albert's idea might actually work. The mood in the room lightened, and Albert felt he was on the right track. Thus, with determination in his heart and a plan in mind, Albert was not just dreaming of creating something special, he was showing that, with good ideas and a bit of persuasive power, it was possible to change someone's perspective. And so began a new phase for the burger joint, blossoming in his mind, filled with stories, flavors, and the essence of the ancient Ottomans. The next adventure was on the horizon, and Albert knew that together, he and Eisen could create something truly fabulous.
Marketing and sales strategy present in Part 5. Overview of the 3 initial laws of power. First law, never outshine the master. Analysis. Essence of the law, never overshadow those above you or figures of authority. Instead, acknowledge and appreciate their contributions. Application in Albert's context. Increased credibility. By presenting Eisen as an expert during the workshops, Albert not only highlights her but also positions himself as a facilitator who recognizes others' knowledge, thereby building his own credibility. Positive interaction. Albert ensures that participants feel their opinions and questions are valued, creating a collaborative and friendly environment, which is essential for developing customer relationships. Implications for sales and marketing. This approach helps to solidify the brand's image, making collaborators and customers feel part of a larger experience, which enhances loyalty and positive word of mouth. Second law, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Analysis. Essence of the law, friendships can be illusory and dangerous. Often, those who start as friends can become the biggest rivals. Recognizing enemies and using them to your advantage is a vital strategy. Application in Albert's context. Resilience against criticism. When a participant raises concerns about the healthiness of burgers, Albert sees it not as an adversity but as an opportunity to educate and persuade, turning objections into sales arguments. Tactical negotiation. While dealing with the store owner, Albert utilizes arguments that convert opposition into leverage, demonstrating how his burger joint could benefit the nearby fish market rather than compete with it. Implications for sales and marketing. This law underscores the importance of persuasion, where the entrepreneur must be prepared to face criticism and doubts, using these situations to strengthen their offering and build strategic alliances. Third law, conceal your intentions. Analysis. Essence of the law, keeping your plans and internal realities undisclosed helps protect your strategic advantage. Don't let others fully understand your goals. Application in Albert's context. Creation of interest. Albert doesn't fully disclose his intentions when negotiating with the store owner, creating an element of mystery about how his burger joint will be unique. This generates interest and the potential for the owner to reconsider his position. Tactical maneuvering. By presenting the burger joint within the context of valuing the food industry, Albert ensures he doesn't reveal all his cards, allowing him to adapt his strategies as needed. Implications for sales and marketing. Concealing intentions can lead to greater curiosity and engagement from the audience. In marketing campaigns, this principle is often used to gradually unveil products, building anticipation. Conclusion. The overview of the first 3 laws of Robert Greene demonstrates how each can be applied practically and strategically in sales and marketing, particularly in Albert's story. By recognizing the importance of not overshadowing, transforming opposition into opportunities, and maintaining a certain level of mystery, he is positioning himself to build not just a burger joint, but a brand that resonates with credibility and authenticity. These principles can serve as valuable guides for any entrepreneur seeking success in the market. Albert was feeling on top of the world. After much effort and dedication, he finally opened his burger joint, named Ottoman Burgers. This was no ordinary burger joint, it was special because it brought flavors from Ottoman cuisine while featuring healthy ingredients that everyone loved.
With success, Albert didn't just thrive, all of his employees benefited too. They enjoyed good vacations and even participated in the profits. Albert always believed that a good team deserves to be well treated. He created such a wonderful environment that people wanted to work there. This was his way of making everyone feel valued, following Robert Greene's first law, never outshine the master. Albert made it a point to shine alongside his team, always praising their contributions and celebrating their achievements, which created a positive and welcoming atmosphere. Over time, Albert's hamburger restaurant grew and became a franchise. He opened stores all across Canada and even in Turkey. The hamburgers spread worldwide, achieving success in every location they were present. Albert knew this was possible because he had learned to use difficulties to his advantage, which is Robert Greene's second law: never trust too much in friends, learn to use enemies. Every challenge he faced along the way, like the initial resistance from the store owner, he transformed into opportunities. He understood that criticism and objections were merely stepping stones to success and always had a positive argument ready at hand. But Albert didn't stop there. He had a big heart and decided to create two foundations. The first was called Ottoman Alzheimer. In it, he helped elderly people with dementia access healthy food, offering hamburgers that were great for health and accompanied by a special tea from Turkey. He remembered his mother and worked hard to enable more people to live better, following Robert Greene's third law: conceal your intentions. He didn't need to do this for recognition, but out of a genuine desire to help. Through this, he showed the world that his hamburger restaurant was more than just a business, it was a way to contribute to the community. The second foundation, Ottoman and the Malignant Neoplasm, was a tribute to his wife who had fought against cancer. Albert wanted to help people facing the same battle access healthy food that could make a difference in their lives. He always believed that health and well-being were fundamental and wanted to leave an important legacy. In the end, all this dedication and effort paid off. Albert became a prosperous man, gracing the cover of Forbes magazine not once, but twice. That's right, he was there, smiling, proud of everything he had achieved, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. He created a true ecosystem of prosperity, where his employees, the community, and even people's health were the priorities. Thus, Albert's story teaches us that with good ideas and a generous heart, we can not only succeed in our businesses but also make the world a better place. It serves as a reminder that true wealth lies not just in money, but in the positive impact we can have on others' lives.
And so, with determination and courage, Albert built not just a burger joint, but a legacy of love and unity. Now, he helps people and provides jobs for many. He brought to life an incredible business where everyone benefits, while also putting smiles on the faces of countless individuals. Albert's story teaches us that even in the face of difficulties, there is always a way out and a path to do good. Why not draw inspiration from this story and bring a bit of Albert's kindness into your life? If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about sales and marketing through the lessons of Robert Greene, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's discuss strategies that can transform your life. We also want to hear from you. What did you think of the video? Leave your comments below and share your thoughts. Let's engage and grow together. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that YouTube recognizes the content as relevant and recommends it to more people. Let's delve into the concepts of sales and marketing based on Robert Greene's work. Until next time.